right. Almost time. Got some exciting classes for you today. Hi, everybody. Can y'all hear me? All right. Welcome to Xuanzang's Tower. Here we are all together. Oh, it's a small turnout so far. Hopefully it will grow. We have a team classes for you today. Geshe Michael is maybe hopefully sleeping, but probably doing things. An early 8 a.m. here in Kyoto. And we've got a wonderful class lined up for you first with Bets, working on Interlude on Emptiness. And then I will lead a class on my text, Ratnamala, String of Jewels. So thank you all for coming. Thank you so much to our dear interpreters and to all of our tech team and everybody who supports us. So I'm guessing you have a quiz for us, Utpala?
It's going to be just an oral quiz.
Or oral quiz, okay.
So I'm hoping that people feel like participating without having the questions written out in front of you.
We'll do our best to remember words in order.
So thank you all for your interest in this book. This very important book by Geshe on basically like the ultimate nature of reality is what we need to see if we want to get out of the cycle of suffering. And the Buddha said what appears on its face to be contradictory things about the nature of reality. So this book is about what do we take to be what he really meant when we get on our cushion and attempt to see directly the nature of reality so we can get the heck out of here, right? And we spent years on Arya Asanga and Master Vasubandhu's charioteer work. Do you remember they were the chariots of the mind-only school? Because they have a particular point of view about what the Buddha really meant. And now we are on to the second half of the book, which if we were to look at this book as a book and just look at the pages, these years that we've just spent are about like this. And now we're going on to the second half of the book, which is more like this, which is going to get into fine detail, so much for an interlude, on Arya Nagarjuna's charioteer work on what the Buddha really meant when he talked about the absence of a self nature to things. What is selflessness? So we have started on this section on Arya Nagarjuna, right? And we started talking about, he said at the Kedabje said at the beginning of this half that he's going to cover two things. He's going to cover the books that, well, actually, it's a little more granular than that. But in this section we're in right now, he said there are two parts. There's the part about what he wrote, and then there's the next part, which we're going to start today. So the first part is on books that Arya Nagarjuna wrote. And if you recall, we talked about a few of them. and what it is that they covered. And remember that although Arya Nagarjuna was prolific, a prolific author, the ones we are most concerned with, because they fit the topic of our book here, are those related to the nature of reality, to how things truly exist, in that they do not exist truly. Okay, so we started off last class talking about 70 verses on emptiness, which is one of Arya Nagarjuna's books. Now, does anyone recall what it is that, why it is that Arya Nagarjuna wrote 70 verses on emptiness?
It was an extension of a particular section of the root text, meaning the root text, Mula Madhyamika Karka.
And in English,
Uh,
we normally call it
wisdom.
Wisdom, yes. So yes, it was a particular section of that book. Do you recall which section of that book?
No, I mean, I've translated this so many times, but I don't have it memorized.
Yeah, it's
The part that starts with no,
starts with like a dream.
Yeah, okay.
No, lines from the 7th chapter of Wisdom. And these lines are basically like the main content of 70 verses on wisdom. So does anyone remember what, in a general way, you don't have to give me all 70 verses, but what in a general way, like hint, 3 things, this book is talking about?
What does the 70 verses talk about?
Yeah.
70 verses talks about I mean the nature of reality, that's for sure.
Yes. I gave you that hint.
That's all I got.
Okay. Okay, I'll read you the lines that it's about in particular. Like a dream, like an illusion, like a city in a cloud, so is starting, so is staying, so is stopping, taught to be. So the 70 verses on reasoning is about starting, staying, and stopping, not existing inherently. Rather, what would it say instead? If they don't exist inherently, how is it that they do exist? These 3 things, starting, stopping, and staying.
By name only.
By name only?
Yeah, which means like they exist as a mental picture.
Right, name and mental images. Yes, those 2 things projected from our own mind onto things that we create into objects. Excellent, thank you, Oscar. So we then talked about a couple more books, the 60 verses on reasoning, and then we started talking about the book that is the root text for the commentary that Nick is translating on the String of Precious Jewels. So these two books, do you recall their focus?
I mean, I do, because I have my face buried in them constantly. But let's see if somebody
Excellent.
else does. Oh, nice.
Lower Nirvana.
That's true.
I think I'm going a little more general than that. So if the 70 verses is focusing on how is it that starting, stopping, and staying don't exist inherently, like it has a focus on that. These other two books, they do talk about nirvana, also omniscience, and how it's not possible to reach either of them if you still
Think dependence has a nature of its own?
hold
Hmm.
to
Starting and stopping?
the extremes of being existent or non-existent at all. So we spent some time talking about last time on how these two extremes will keep us from reaching omniscience, and of course even reaching freedom from the cycle of suffering. So now we can move on. Oh, I should ask you for a couple of Tibetan words, shouldn't I? Let's see. We talked about I'm going to put in the chat here. Can anyone tell me what Sheng Shen Yi means?
The two other books?
The two other books.
Yep.
Thank you. Can anyone tell me what Chi Mu means?
Needless to say,
Very nice. Who said that?
that's me. That's Toto.
Hi.
Very bold color.
Thank you very much. And then one more Minerva.
I can't tell you what that is.
Oh, good. So hopefully someone else can.
Someone can do.
Marina, I think you should know this one.
She looks like she's saying it. She's just muted. Oscar's also unable.
Powerless.
Oh, so many
Powerless.
people unable.
Does it mean cheese sandwich?
Powerless.
What's that?
That's good.
Powerless.
Powerless. Yeah, thank you.
No, it means a powerful human.
Able-bodied individual. Nice.
Sorry.
Unable, yeah. Or powerless. Incapable. Words that can describe a certain someone who seems to be taking a lot of my brain space these days. Let's see. I'm now going to attempt to share the text. I'm sorry. I do seem to have a particular anti-city around sharing.
Dog ate your homework, huh?
I'm sorry?
Dog ate your homework.
No, I want to share the text.
I know.
Okay, I gotta stop it and start it. Okay, do you see a text
Yeah.
with a bunch of words with all capital Roman letters,
Yes.
starting with 445?
Yes.
We can.
Excellent. So, Venerable Chunzong, would you like to read, please? This first section?
Yes. One sec. Pungpo den sinma sewa korwa mi dokching.
Really heavy prenasal there.
Or
Korwa Mindok.
korwa min dokching.
Lovely.
You you may kita mitawai yang dakpe dun shepa korwe le jolwa la yang gupa dang. De drawe
Same there. Dendra.
whoops dendrawe dendrawe dun shepa pe ngudne korwa le jolwa dang. Tamche kienpe gunpang tokpa Jpe lam gi rimpa ni gepa chedo.
Great, thank you. So here we're talking about let's see. We're talking about Pungpo, which is what, Venerable Chunzum?
Skanda. Body and mind.
Body and mind. Yeah. And we're talking about Denzin.
Belief, holding to be real.
Yeah.
Holding.
Yeah, holding to the body and mind is truly existing.
Mm-hmm.
Masewardu.
Sewa.
Masewar.
Don't know.
Masip is Pardu, I guess.
Yeah. I
Right,
was gonna say.
Pardu. Right, Mase Pardu. Sorry.
Ah. Mm.
So Pardu, we know, is right in between.
But I think it's a.
Not only that in be.
Well,
as
usually
long
we see it as
As
Until
long
Pardu.
such
Really,
time that we have extinguished,
as long as yeah. hmm
because
Right.
it's one of those things where the ma is not really a ma in English.
Mm.
Yeah, exactly. And until such time as as we continue to hold to the heaps as true or self-existent or something.
Yeah,
As
until
long
we've
as it hasn't gone
exhausted,
away.
until we've exhausted grasping to the body and mind as truly existing,
Yeah.
Nice.
then
Sansara.
Korra,
Sansara.
right?
Mhm.
Mindok.
No return, no going back.
Won't stop.
Mhm.
Can't stop.
I was close.
Can't be stopped.
Yeah.
And not only that, let's see. So Gepa, what's Gepa? Xuanzang?
Oh, we're still. Gupa, clothes. Wait, no.
Need.
Necessary, right? Or need. To Drowa
Mhm.
from Korwa,
To be free from samsara.
right?
Nice.
We have to Shepa
Understand?
Yang Dakpe Dun.
Young, what?
Yang Dakpe Dun. Sometimes we see this as you may remember the phrase Yang Dakpe Dawa.
It's pure view or something.
Yeah, right, correct view.
Uh-huh.
So here we're talking about Yang Dakpe Dun.
So it would be correct dun, understanding.
The correct object here.
Object.
Yeah, the perfect object.
Perfect object or perfect meaning?
Oh,
Perfect
Could
object.
be either.
Object, really?
Uh-huh.
Could be, yeah.
What's the object?
Here it is here. Ye me guitar mi tawa.
So it couldn't be the meaning of not seeing.
So we have the tawa is, I'm sorry, what word?
It couldn't be the meaning of not seeing those things.
Yeah, what it means to not see. I think either way. Object.
I think there actually is something that's considered the Yang Dakbe Dun. Yeah. Yang Dakbe Dun is another word for reality.
Reality. Cool.
So I could put that.
That's something you can massage later.
So, and that is mitawa
Not
to,
see.
here it's view as a verb. I mean, tawa is a verb.
Right. Not seen.
To not view, ye me guitar.
Mhm.
The extremes, tar,
beyond.
of ye me. The things either ye
Yeah.
or they may.
Exist or not exist.
Right. The extremes of existence and non-existence.
Non-existent.
Cool. Now, then drawa, here's why I used object. By understanding an object, then drawa, like that, dun shape by shape ba, understanding an object, de drawa like that,
Mhm. Through.
Then we have this again, korwa le drowa. Drowa from korwa.
From samsara. So,
Right?
yeah.
Drowa,
What?
freedom.
Freedom. Oh, sorry. Freedom from samsara.
Freedom from samsara. Kone, through or by that.
Due to.
Due to, sure. So by understanding an object like that, one is freed from the cycle of pain. And so we're still talking about the string of precious jewels here and what this book is about, which sounds pretty darn cool. And it also Che
Cut.
explains, yeah, it's related to that. Che explains Gyepar.
I don't know.
Extensively.
In detail
Mm-hmm.
or extensively, the Lamgirimpa,
The steps of the path.
the steps of the path to Topar Je Pa.
Oh, we're talking about omniscience somewhere there.
Yep.
I don't know exactly how it breaks down.
To attaining
Mm-hmm. Omniscience.
Kopang is
At a certain level of omniscience.
right, the level
Mhm.
of omniscience. So it's also going to explain in detail the steps on the path to attaining the state of omniscience.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty awesome. Let's jump to Nick's text, why don't we? I mean, golly. Okay, so I exhausted, grasping to the body and mind is truly existing. The cycle can't be stopped. To free oneself from the circle of pain, it is also necessary to understand the perfect object, to not view extremes of existence and non-existence. By understanding an object like that, one is freed from the cycle of pain. It also explains in detail the stages of the path to attaining the state of omniscience. Hey.
Nice.
What do you think about ni here? Lamkirimba ni, like
Yeah,
just
right.
that, exactly that. You have some feeling about what to do with that?
I just put a question mark there, and I'm
Fair
looking
enough.
forward to when Geshe Michael actually
For
teaches
sure.
us what this really
Yeah.
says.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, that's
But
what I
yeah,
had
I
come
was
up with.
thinking the steps themselves,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the very steps or something. Yeah,
the very steps, yeah.
cool.
Okay. I need a new, I don't know who's here. Let me see if I can look at the chat. If there's someone who, I can't see the people's who's here. Let's see. Oh, there you are. A lot of names in languages I can't read yet. Like it looks like Korean and Japanese and Chinese. Let's see. Oh, Dodo, would you like to read?
Sure. Thank you, Venerable Pa.
Thank you.
대외나 박배숑디 딱히 가줍라 속배 자체 탐제 근접 매두 딱바 쌈라 저키 랑키 체니키 주발라 샥두 미롱와당 去扛来羊让行穷色讲没被贴可难尼去轮当被连把你给把点了 publishing.
Lovely. Thank you so much. So, Dewana. Do you know Dewana?
They wanna buy if by that, but what's the
Therefore,
why here doing? I don't know.
therefore,
Yeah, it's a
Therefore,
phrase that
okay.
means therefore.
Therefore, Dewena.
And I'm wondering if maybe it's like somehow related to if it's like that.
Mm.
If that's the
Seems
case.
like it, yeah.
it's a shortening of data, Wena.
Oh, thank you.
Yep.
Data as in
La ta ta ta.
could you write it in the chat?
LTA la ta ta ta. Y'all read it?
Oops. Wrong keyboard.
Data winner.
Great. So we're talking about Pakpe Shungdidak. So we're talking about
The two
Didak
books or
Shung of Pakpa.
the two books of the Arya or the books of the Arya.
Right. These books of the Arya. So they're doing something. So probably well, we'll get to what they're doing, but at least this is marking it as the thing that's doing the doing. Ga drupla sokpa.
That means the things that they refute and establish and so on.
Right. Refutations, proofs, and so on. So we have to go down to find our verb. And our verb is down here. Tenla pa.
Is it establish or set forth?
Right. Gepar.
Extensively.
Right. Extensively explain tempani.
The two truths or two truth realities.
Right. And here's how, this is at least how I broke it up. Through refutations, proofs, and such. And we can talk about how maybe it could be broken up differently, but this is how at least I put it together. Given that it's talking about two truths. So we talked about here, Jaje Tamche.
Can it mean all the subjects and objects?
Yeah, it could be subjects and objects. I thought of it as all the actors and actions, or all actors and actions.
Dache is a idiom though. It means how everything works.
Okay, how everything works.
How all things function or something like that.
Well, not all things function. That's the thing. That's why I didn't use Jache as functioning things. But again, actors and actors are also functioning things. So anyway, hopefully we'll get clarification of that. But they are kunso.
Kunzo medu. Is the kunzo is perfected?
Kunso is deceptive reality.
Oh, yes, sorry. Yes. Kunzo tempa, yes. So there.
And it would be mirungwa.
It would be inappropriate.
To and this is how I put it together, to shock. So like I put this as think of them as how did I break this up?
Tak Patsam.
As not merely labeled or not established through being merely labeled.
Doesn't the may have to go with the kunzob though because of the
Yeah.
tu?
I agree with that. It's
Yeah.
Tanje Kunzob Medu. And
Yeah.
then Tak Patsam La.
Yeah.
Joke.
From takpa, the shock is a phrase.
I'm sorry?
From takpa, BTAGS, down to the BZHAG is one continuous phrase. And yeah, establishes existing through labels alone. The things that you put forward, shock, that have that they exist by their own definition, that are established through labels alone. Mirong are inappropriate. Mirong.
It's inappropriate to
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Posit.
to establish them as existing by definition.
Yep.
But it's not inappropriate to call them merely labeled, which is why I broke it up the way I did. But so you're suggesting that the word is that nothing is there is nothing that is deceptive reality where it would be appropriate to say that they exist by definition and merely labeled.
Something like that, yeah.
Well, kunzo me could be right, not either not deceptive, right? Like it would be wrong to say that things aren't deceptive.
Yeah.
But then I don't know, right? Could also be to say that kunzo things don't exist, that they're me.
I think it's
Because we're talking about gawking and drooping.
But
Right.
Ben, I think you're right the first time. It is inappropriate to say that nothing, the way everything functions, jaje tamche, is not deceptive. Kunzob me.
The way everything
Jaje tamche kunzob me.
Okay, then I have, so help me fit this in then, because this is a correct approach.
Yeah,
Or a
and it's
correct
interesting.
description of what's going on, which is that things are established, rather things don't exist by definition, rather they're established through being merely labeled.
But there's a gi there, gi, and it's saying self-existently they're that way, and that's inappropriate. So that part is right, but if it's self-existently the way it happens, it's inappropriate. Mirongma.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
so
a
it's
good
going
point.
really deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the law is probably a disjunctive here. Right, so established self-existently, right? Joke, the gi connects to self-existently, right? Rather than thought some.
Oh, the la is the ladun. That's why the joke is the verb. La joke. Lan joke.
Right, and they are joked. Thought some.
They are, but it's inappropriate to say the way they are joked by labels alone is a self-existent type of establishing, because they can exist they cannot exist deceptively. Um, everything cannot function that way. That's what I think.
Maybe it'd be hard to say that you could self-existently establish things merely by label. It seems like those two are opposites.
They are. That's why it's me wrong.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Um,
The
that would
grammatical
be
construction does look like that. I'm not. I mean, it
awfully
could be
subtle.
kind
Yeah.
of
Well,
hard, but yeah.
the placement of this may is, I'm sorry, is baffling to me.
Mhm.
I do not like where it is. Coming after Kunzel.
It's coming after it.
So cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
something like that is gonna happen when we get the true meaning of what deceptive reality is.
Yeah.
Let's move on to ultimate reality, shall we?
Uh-huh.
Sorry, my camera is in the wrong
Mm.
place. Chuk Kang La Yang.
Anything at all? Any existence at all?
Mhm.
Right.
You think?
Anything at all. And because we've got here actually we've got this Mepa.
Mhm.
So I would say there's nothing at all.
No,
Mhm.
no.
There's
That goes with the
no,
wrong shin.
yeah.
Yeah, there's not
There's
even a
no
shred.
Yeah.
not a hint of self-existing quality.
Yeah, not even a little
Self-nature.
self-existence to it.
Mm.
Yeah,
I'm like, whatsoever.
There's not even a shred of self-nature to anything.
correct.
Dekonaniki Dindampa.
The ultimate reality of suchness.
Yeah, that's what I got too.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
I translated that as and that there is nothing at all that has even the slightest essential nature.
Yeah.
The
That's-
ultimate reality of suchness.
Yeah. Them's the true truths.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Tempani.
Those are the two truths.
Oh, here I am looking for Dempa tooth.
No, thems. Those are.
Mm.
Thus we have presented the two truths.
Mhm.
And thus we have extensively explained the two truths.
Okay, cool. And then the last statement in this part of the book. Oscar,
Yes.
can you help me with this
Yeah. Thank you.
and read first?
Sul detar tokpani, sangye tokpa tachimu korwale cholwala yenme tumirungo, xie lungtang rikpa tayepe gonetempe. Dagni chembo ndi kelwatang, dempanam la tarpatang tamche kiempe lamgielwe gompashindu selwartsepe shintei sulek par chewayino.
Great, thank you. So I found it helpful to actually just do these separately.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I can see that. That's a good idea.
Mhm.
so we have this, we have our verb here.
Mhm.
So these books, Tenpa,
Mhm.
what do they do, Oscar?
They teach.
Yes, they teach. And they teach through,
Mhm.
oops.
Mm.
Lungdang Rikpa Tayepa.
Through infinite quotation of other books or scriptural authorities and logic.
Mhm.
And then I threw this in here too. Like but maybe that's not right.
No,
That
ngo is a
we're-
period. Rongo, period.
Yeah.
Okay. Lo
Yeah.
is a period, so
Yeah.
it
She
must
is a
be,
quote.
it
Mm.
must be then scriptural quotations.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, I think the She is mentioning that what ends with no was a quotation.
Yeah.
And then it starts a new sentence, Lungdong Rik Pataye, like infinite scripture and reasoning.
Okay, so it teaches this through infinite, well, not infinite, but
Yeah.
Geshe Michael says literally infinite.
by literally infinite numbers. He's still writing it, as a matter of fact.
Exactly. Well, if there's countless
Oh,
planets.
That's right. That's right. That's an urging for everyone to write.
Let's all
Scripture
take a moment.
and reasonings. And okay, so then here's a word we had earlier.
Oh yeah.
Needless to say.
What need mention?
Yep. And also what
It's
need
not-
mention. Okay, so we're just gonna move on because there's apparently no need to mention.
Mm.
No,
What-
just kidding.
What me worry?
It's
Uh,
Can it go
the
with
ta
the
goes with that chime.
yeah,
Tachime.
like much less?
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those three go together. Yeah.
Yeah. Much less. Nice, Oscar.
Su de Tartokpa.
Oh, to realize in that way or to understand it in
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Realizing.
Right.
Let's talk about realizing the two truths, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A method
Yeah.
to realize.
Yeah, method.
No need to mention that.
Yeah. What need mention the realization of Buddha?
Yeah, or the achievement, or
Achievement. Yeah.
Mm.
By realizing the two truths in this way,
Mm.
Oh,
then
Good.
what need mention
of
Sangye
achieving,
Topa?
yeah, of achieving Buddhahood.
No, they taught this is the way in which we realize the two truths.
Oh, because of the knee.
No, not the need, the
Yeah.
tar. This way, tsul, this is the method in which we realize the two truths. Ni, okay, and then
Mhm.
what need we have to mention achieving Buddhahood?
Mm,
Uh-huh.
right.
It's parallel, yeah, with the knee.
Yeah,
That
or
they're
achieve-
actually indispensable to achieving Buddhahood. And where did I get that indispensable from?
Indispensable. Are you looking at notes or something?
Yeah, I
Achievement.
am.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's-
Meito Mirung.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, Yang Mei Tung Yirung.
Sin qua non.
Well, we're translating into English.
What? I'm in the wrong class.
On there. Nick, could you get back in the Latin channel, please?
Yeah, I'm going. Sorry about that.
Much less so to Venerable Chunzum's favorite phrase of today.
Free from suffering,
Mhm.
free from pain.
Free from
Yay.
the cycle of suffering. Yeah.
Great. So they teach through means of extensive quotations and scripture and reasonings that there's really no need to mention that realizing things in this way is indispensable to achieving enlightenment, much less so to attaining freedom from the cycle of pain.
I think it's the
Yeah,
other
I think
way.
you doubled your much less so.
Uh-huh.
No need to mention is the much less so. You need it in order to achieve Buddhahood. I mean, so what need mention, not to mention getting out of the cycle.
And then
Yeah.
I would go in that
two
order.
things. We've got Tachima and we've got Yang Mei Du
Yeah, it would be inappropriate to say that you could do without it, is the yang me do mi rung. For sangye to,
Oh,
uh, for achieving Buddhahood. Da chi me, not to mention, right? So I shouldn't even have to mention that you need it for achieving Jowa from Orwa,
Yeah.
achieving
it was
freedom from the
It would
cycle.
be.
just reversing the order from which you said it. Oh, and then there's the
Well,
house.
that's surprising. I think this
Like
now.
that.
Now I finally understand.
It looks like one of
Paula,
those
would you
metal roofs.
reassert control of the screen? There's been a whoopsie. A super fascinating one, but
What?
Just
we had
Oh,
a boo-boo happen with screen
she
share.
doesn't
Someone
see it. She doesn't see it.
I got it. I got it.
accidentally. Oh,
I got
Nick
rid of
handled
it.
it. Well done.
Yeah, I have
Okay.
the
Good.
power.
Yeah, so yeah, it would be indispensable for getting free from the cycle of pain. What need we have to mention for achieving Buddhahood? And the way you do this is through teachings of infinite teachings of Long and Rick, scriptural authority, and logic.
Yeah, I think it's the other way around though, the phrasing, isn't it? It would be indispensable for achieving Buddhahood, so we don't even need to mention getting
No,
free from the cycle of
because
pain.
no, because the cycle of pain is lower. So
Right.
Oh, right, that's why I thought it would be.
Yeah,
That's why you would say achieving
grammatically.
Buddhahood, so you don't need to mention the lower one, right?
Mm,
Like you
mm,
can get all the way to Mars. You don't. Why mention that you can get to the moon or something?
If you
Right.
needed to get to Mars, then you
Right.
sure as heck needed to get to the moon. So if you needed to get to Buddhahood, then I shouldn't have to tell you that you need it to get free of
mm.
pain. No, I don't think that's
Yeah.
true. I
Sounds
mean,
the other way.
I agree. Word logically, grammatically, I feel like
Mm.
Tachimo would typically come before, but logically, I totally agree with you. Word
Yeah.
that yeah.
The Tachima
Well,
comes before the thing that you're not going to mention because there's no need.
That
No, is that
would have
how it
been my
shows up?
feeling.
But it's a
I
double
don't know.
negative. So it's about real if you realize if you follow the ways and realize the true truths, you will achieve Buddhahood. Needless to say, the lower nirvana.
yeah, that's how I'm looking at
Yeah,
it.
that's right. That's
Mm.
right.
Because
Yeah.
I think
the
that's
end
right.
is a double negative. You treat it as a positive, so there's no problem to that.
Okay, and young me de means
You're
me
absolutely right.
Me do, me
wrong.
do. It's indispensable.
Yeah.
And so and what's wrong?
No, it's a one
Wrong.
young Mete Mirung. It is,
Me do, indispensable. Yeah.
yeah.
This all
Yeah.
together is indispensable.
It's wrong to say you could do without it.
Yeah. It's just a
You see, amounts to indispensable.
yeah.
It would be mirung to say that you could be me of that view.
So wait,
In-
okay, if we're gonna put
indispensable.
Tachi Mu, I like what you and Dodo are saying. So where are we gonna put the indispensable then?
Yang me do me wrong.
Now, in English. The order. Thanks, buddy.
Flip flop.
So what is it indispensable for? Sange Topa
Right.
or
Maybe it's like this.
I guess I can now I'm seeing it could go either way.
Uh-huh.
Ah, maybe realizing the ways,
Hmm.
realizing the ways to realize the two
No.
truths. No?
there's a knee.
Well,
It could actually go, it seems like it could go either way. It's indispensable for achieving Buddhahood, so we don't even need to mention escaping samsara, but or it's
Yeah.
Yeah, but
indispensable for
that's
escaping
not
samsara. You know, I think logically
logically airtight because there could be something that you need in order to remove obstacles to omniscience.
right.
Right. Right, because Buddhahood's more, so you don't know there's an additional
Yeah.
thing that's necessary. So it has to be
Indispensable.
Tachi Mu to Buddhahood and therefore
Huh.
okay Korwa Leju Jolwa. and it has to be indispensable.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, as you climb the hierarchy, it's indispensable for if you need it to escape samsara. Of course, you need it also for achieving Buddhahood because
Right.
you escape samsara to achieve Buddhahood. Yeah, makes sense.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
All right, cool. Hey,
Yeah.
S. What about the S?
S.
Oh,
Tempeh.
Yeah.
this
Let's
S?
find out. Yeah.
Therefore,
No,
And
that,
so.
Well,
no, it's just indicating that these books are teaching this.
mhm.
no.
By
Before
those
Shay means
books,
before. Therefore.
Dr. Chempodi.
No, it's not. I mean, you can try and link it to this, but I don't think it is. Dak Ni Chempo,
Super
Those,
fella.
Please.
those great guys.
that great being, and
Yeah.
which
D,
great
this one.
being? D.
Yeah,
That
D,
one.
that one.
This great being.
Oriented Partner.
By that great being. Yep.
Or by that great being.
Mm.
Let's see. So we've got uh, 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 mm, uh, uh, uh. This
Those
one
bug-
is kind of awkward in English because there's so many different clauses. So we'll just start through the clauses. So this great being, Kewa Dempa Nam,
Kawadang Dempanam.
Kewa Dang Dempa Nam.
Those of us who are very fortunate,
Yeah.
those very fortunate ones.
Lucky
Yep.
duckies.
Lucky duck.
La them,
Yeah.
For the lucky tuckies.
to them, yep. Tarpa Dang Tamche Kempa Lam Gewa. Oh, Lam. Tarpa Dang
Path to omniscience
Tamche
and freedom.
Kempa Lam.
Uh,
I'm sorry?
The path to
Yeah.
omniscience and freedom.
The path to freedom and omniscience.
I think the lam
Yeah.
distributes.
Tarpa
Yeah,
comes first.
that's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Carpe lam.
Yeah.
And Gelwe Gongpa.
Yeah,
The true intent of the
cool.
victors.
what they really thought, what the victors really thought.
Yeah, the intent of the conquerors.
Mhm.
The
So are
fashion,
they,
the way.
Shindu, according to.
Yeah, and yes, in line with their true intent.
In line with, yeah. So are Sepa,
He cleared it up.
clarified.
Mhm.
Shinta, we know because we talked about that earlier.
I think the Chingte soul probably goes together, right?
Yeah, it
It
does,
does.
but I just want to
Yeah.
know what Shinta is.
It means wooden horse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or a chariot or a pioneer. And then
Pioneer.
It's
I
a
love that.
Pioneer.
steam engine.
the
In
It's a
a,
covered
a,
wagon.
a wagoneer
yeah. And the soul would be
system.
Mhm.
Literally means a rail, right?
it
Ah,
it could mean a system, could mean a rail.
It
Or
means here it means
oatmeal.
system.
Definitely
Yeah.
doesn't.
It could be
It
a
means
tradition.
mm.
I think it means oatmeal.
Mm.
Lekpart Chewa.
They divided it so well,
Super divided it.
Super divided it.
made clear distinctions.
Yeah.
Well established, because
Fine
Chewa
distinction.
can also means open or create. Because
So here's how I did it, and then let's talk about how I got it. I did it incorrectly.
In the next minute,
Can
do. We can
In
do
the
it.
true and distinctive way of a pioneer, this great being clarified for those of good fortune the path to freedom and omniscience according to the intent of the conqueror.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. He did, in fairness, to use the saw from previously, that is how he did it, was
Yeah.
by teaching in countless scriptural examples and proofs
Yeah, therefore this great being, blah 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 blah. Blah.
Yeah, right. That's how he did it
Yeah,
that way, that by teaching those things. So yeah, that's great.
Lovely.
how can I use this more practically in my life?
Oh, let's
This
talk about
seems
it.
hopeful for that.
I want to be a
Thank you
Wagoneer.
for your participation, everyone. Sorry,
Cool.
I just
Thank
want to
you.
note when we finish. Okay, so how on earth
Hachimu.
can
What
we
need
use this?
it can get us enlightened. What need mention could improve our lives. Oh wait, the other way. It can improve our lives. What me worry.
Mhm. Us
Hmm.
boring mixed nuts can talk, but it's more interesting if other people
So,
talk.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, kind of like for just on its very surface level, like it sure sounds like Ari Nagarjuna is the guy to read if you want to get the heck out of the cycle of no, if you want to reach omniscience, what need mention get out of this circle of suffering,
Yeah.
So
right?
the practical application is to join the Goodnight Book Club. Read Arya Nagarjuna.
Yeah, right.
Well, it's true.
But that's just a surface level. What else can we learn about? There's stuff in there about like breaking down all the different ways that things exist. There's stuff about using not just reasoning, but also scriptural authority, or maybe not just scriptural authority, but also logic.
Yeah. Personally, I need both. I think it's helpful. I don't know. I'll just talk about my own life for a second and how I can relate with some of this. Uh I've been in Japan for a week, and it's the first time that I've been away from my family for this long in a long time. And life is interesting, it's hard, I think, when you get it's hard to remember sometimes emptiness. It's harder when you get into a routine and you kind of get back into like life and you just start doing your daily routine, like the same kind of things every day. And I feel like for me, and I'm just trying to chime in here until somebody else has something else to say. But something that I've noticed is like being away for a few days was really, I've been thinking about emptiness a lot. I've been listening to Geshe Michael teach, which usually helps you do that. And it was a little bit of like a reset for me, uh, to kind of get some tools again to like try to have an interrupter process for like when I start getting upset by things in life, or when I, I can have a little distance and then have a perspective that like, oh, I can see that in this particular situations, I'm really, really holding to things as if they have nothing to do with like me and my seeds, my past actions. And so I think that I'm really relating with the logic and scripture of it, because I got to listen to my teacher talk about things right out of the books. And I get to kind of slow myself down because I'm not stuck in just like doing the same things so quickly all the time. I feel like I have an opportunity to reset and catch my mind using logic. Like, oh my gosh, I can start to see some patterns and interrupt them. So I think that there's something to be said for using both logic and scripture to get yourself to the point where you can see emptiness. But of course, which is, Nagarjuna's main goal here, but also just to interrupt the daily habits, patterns that keep you stuck and maybe afford you a little bit of perspective and freedom. So I've been good for the first time in years to just have a little bit of space so that hopefully I can return to my day-to-day life with some renewed tools. And so the practical application here is go on vacation for a couple days. Bring a routine. But if it's not vacation or a work trip, then even just finding small ways to probably break up the habits. I'll say one more thing about that. I was watching Dune 2 on the plane, and I hadn't seen it yet. And I read all the books, but I forgot that like when you walk in the desert, you have to avoid the giant sandworms that will come and eat you and everyone you've ever met. So you have to walk in really random patterns. Like you can't follow any pattern in the way that you step in the desert. And I was like, oh, there's something. I was thinking about my trip and how it's important to kind of break up the little patterns that you form in life and interrupt and so that you can stop the giant sandworm of samsara, the Shai Halud of samsara from eating you and your family.
That's great. This section started with Tomboy Denzin Masepa. As long as you don't get rid of your uh belief in the reality or
grasping to the true existence of the body and
the
mind.
Pumbo. Yeah, right. Of what's mine. I think it's interesting that this whole discussion today cascaded from this need that stems from our obsession with what belongs to me and how much of the day I'm fighting for what's mine, for what I deserve in life, from what I deserve in terms of like recognition or the way people should treat me. The idea of mine seems to be a really powerful issue, and it's hard because we have to sustain ourselves. I think I personally I struggle with overeating. That's my personal addiction issue. Um, I smoked cigarettes when I was a kid, but I don't do that anymore. But I so that's great. But now food is tough because you have to eat it. You have to eat food. I can
Yeah.
just not smoke cigarettes. That's really helpful for getting over the most powerful thing I found for getting over cigarette addiction is don't smoke them. But you can't use that for food. Um, and um, and you need things to sustain yourself. You need possessions. They say even the Buddha knows which bowl is his. And and so it's very difficult to sustain yourselves, to have things and sustain them without getting wrapped up in them, without getting worried about what's mine and not yours and fighting for them.
But
Um, mhm,
Ben, is what's in that bowl that you're
in
holding
my
that you
refrigerator.
call
I know which
your
refrigerator is mine.
refrigerator? Um, does that have anything to do with sustaining your body?
Anything? There seems to be a correlation. I'm loath to say nothing. I'm afraid that if I said it had nothing to do with it, then I would be denying that I have through mere label, there is a deceptive relationship between the food and the body. I think so. I do struggle with that. It is difficult to balance these things. Is my body kept alive through food in a way that is merely labeled? Yes, and I think so. And maybe that's why perhaps one could do without food, but I'm not. I don't think. It seems like that would be maybe mepa. It would be maybe denying more than I should deny to say that there's no relationship between food and my body. And maybe that's why I personally struggle uh, with my food addiction or with stuff addiction in general, because it seems like you need stuff.
Seems like it. Yeah, I totally agree. It seems like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't think it does.
No,
No.
not even a taksam, a merely labeled relationship between bodies and food.
What was it, the quote that we had at the beginning? Like a dream, like an illusion, like a
Mhm,
city in a cloud. So is starting,
mhm,
so is stopping, staying, so is stopping taught to be.
mhm. Oh, that's an answer?
I mean, you think that do we think that yes, we do think that by eating, a piece of cheese or some scrambled eggs or whatever it is we like to eat,
How did you know what I had for breakfast?
popcorn, which maybe not, but anyway, that it's made of these constituent parts, and these contain certain nutrients that are, tiny, teeny tiny particles of things that are nutrients, that when they interact with the cells inside my body, they give them sustenance and allow them to continue to function as a body that can translate ancient languages into English.
Right.
Yeah,
And
that's a story.
it is. I mean, but this is the story of I just read an article of some uh priest who was trying to fast for longer than Jesus, specifically. Um, and he died. And so he was still labeling this connection strongly enough, merely labeled, but that label was strong enough that, now whether it's his label or my label, I don't know, but uh my label of his label, but
So
he died. We have to affirm deceptive reality
well,
also somehow.
what about the laws of how karma works?
Yes.
What is the sort of the features of a karma being able to ripen immediately, like that, like not eating, death, that it would happen that quickly?
It would be very powerful. It would be maybe if you are someone who is serving a llama or something, would that make your cause and effect fast? I don't know. Typically, no, we would say that there's a gap between cause and effect. Although um
Right, for it to
there's
happen really quickly. Like everything has to be done, and I'm going to say perfectly, not like right and wrong, but perfectly in the sense of with the highest possible motivation,
yes.
with the highest possible understanding of the nature of reality.
That's not how I eat a pizza.
yeah, with the highest possible thing you could do, like highest possible action of the greatest benefit to the highest possible object, like the view has to be very high. I mean, I don't know, maybe wanting to be, you know, a bigger holdout than Jesus, that might be a high view. I don't, maybe it was a different view.
Nobody try to fast for 45 days, though. If it's just, you know, for me, don't do it for yourself, but do it for me. For me, keep feeding yourself for now. And then who knows what's possible. But for my sake, do me a favor and nobody stop eating yet. I don't know if I can sustain the view that makes it safe. But it's an interesting question, you know, whether or not someone could, but not the way I eat pizza.
Yeah, I think we have to sort of like end with I'm over time, but I just want to end before we go over to Juan to just to say that, yeah, if you're anything like me, you are forced by the ripening of your past actions and thoughts and words to have the experiences that you're having. And like, that's what we have to deal with. Is that how things really are? No, but that is how things really are being experienced by you, by me. So we have to do what's smart.
Yeah, I think so.
Juan, are you here?
Yeah, I am.
Wonderful.
Excellent.
Good to see you all, and thank you very much for the talk. I know these last words really struck me in the sense of, yeah, to do what I know, because I mean, we're gonna go into that in a few minutes, but Adam and I are in Kyoto, and we've been presenting some topics on the first book that Geshe and Adam translated, the Opening a Door to Emptiness. It's like this thing, it's really funny because things do work because we have the seeds for them to work in a certain way. So it's like, I agree. It's like, for now, we have to keep eating. We have to keep feeding ourselves. We have to be taking care, because for whatever random reason, we have the seeds for that to work for us right now. And until we don't change our seeds to force us to perceive a different reality or situation, it's smart, as you say, Pala, to keep playing with those rules. Don't put your hand inside the fire until you're very, very sure that that fire is not hot and burning anymore. Something like that.
Right. They're not random, by the way, but yeah.
Totally. Yeah, you're right. No random, but I'm saying like random in the sense like we cannot access, or at least I cannot directly like, oh, what I did, who I didn't took care of very well. So now I'm forced to need to eat food. I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not random, you're right, because there are very specific karmic correlations, I will say, that, of course, produce results, which is another deep topic that we could go into, because how can something really produce a result? Who knows? But speaking about karmic correlations, I want also to present that right now, on regards of Diamond Cutter Press, we have available the book, All Kinds of Karma, which is a very beautiful presentation on many different karmic correlations. This is a sutra, meaning that it's like a teaching that Lord Buddha himself taught. So it's very, very beautiful to access this content like that and to see. I have taken a look, haven't read it completely, but for sure have spent some time with it, playing with it. Our dear friend Gina Rivera, she worked for many years doing copying the draws from the Buru Budur palace, or how to call it, temple, stupas, and then she put them into the book. Anyways, amazing, beautiful correlations, all kinds of things, how to be everything, how to be more healthy, how to be more beautiful. Hey, check this out, by the way. Sometimes things are unexpected. Like, one of the karmic correlations for beauty is to, at least the book says, is to give new cooking utensils to people, give them presents of new cooking, like pans and stuff like that, pots. We can't figure it out what's the essence behind that, but just saying, like, you will find very interesting things, how to make money, how to lose money, all kinds of karma. And if you're interested in this, I really recommend it. You can follow the QR code. Now we have this special use code for a pre-order, but the pre-order is gonna finish on March 27. So it's like in 3 or 4 days, depending where you are right now. But check it out, it's really, really worth it. If you cannot get it this time, you can also find the online version on the Diamond Cutter Press website. Okay, and next thing I would like to talk about, as I was just mentioning, Adam and I are in Kyoto, among other people, like Nick is here as well, Team Lowenhub is here, Geshe, of course, Xiaoping, Stanley, many more people. This time, Adam and I are presenting this, maybe like the first series of the G-Box project, where a translator gets together with one of the teachers and then presents the materials, the content on this book. So here I'm just sharing the poster for 2 reasons, mainly. You can watch the recordings. We have already done 2 sessions. The recordings are now available on YouTube, on the Diamond Cutter Classics YouTube channel. You can watch the recordings following this QR code, or just go to the Diamond Cutter Classics, the Tibetan language channel in YouTube. You can find them there in many different languages. And if you want, today is going to be the last class. You can follow the QR code to register for Zoom. If you're in Kyoto, you're welcome to come. We are having the sessions at the Ace Hotel. And just to show you a little bit, a few pictures of how the event has been going. Yeah, this is CSP, as you know, is also having sessions. This was 3 days ago. Geshe invited Adam and I to the stage. We had a very fun talk. Geshe played with us like this wonderful debate. You can watch the recording. This is a part of Stanley's class. At the end of the class, it was when this happened. It was very fun. And Geshe gave wonderful introduction to the book and opening these questions on why are these topics the door to emptiness, and why the very first debates that we approach in this book are red and white. Yeah, next picture, please. This is Adam yesterday sharing a wonderful, wonderful class. I was a little worried that audience will not be able to follow up because Adam is going deep. And then at the end of the class, everyone was super happy, like perfect. And I was like, okay, Adam, I owe you an apology. I was misjudging, but audience super, super happy. Next picture, please. That's Geshe advertising or showing everyone the book. Now we had some printed copies, but all of them run out. We will later see if we can print more. But for now, you can get a copy if you follow the QR code as well. And just the introduction, let me tell you, I've been working on it. It's really, really beautiful. Really, really wonderful introductions. The topics that I'm little by little getting more familiar with them. Also, very great tools to have to improve our daily life, really. So yeah, once again, if you want to either watch the class on Zoom or come live or watch the recordings, there are the QR codes. Okay, and what else is happening here? As I say, CSP is having sessions. They are about to finish sessions, but not next. DSEU is going to start their new sessions for the next upcoming week. After that, about April the 2nd, Geshe and team, not Team Lowenhub, but Geshe and their team of production go to the Dunhuang Caves to have the AR events. And just heads up, the very first event on AR this time is gonna be open to all audiences online. So it's gonna be a kind of, I will say, like an open talk. You can register for this talk. Most likely, I'm guessing it's gonna be April the 9th. More information will come soon about it, but just heads up, it's gonna be like the grand opening of this project. Everyone is welcome. I would recommend following these QR codes, and then you will get more information there. Here we will try to keep you informed as well. And also, if you want to go live in person attending these events, registrations are still available. Okay, after they go to China, they come back to wonderful Arizona land, and we are gonna have the first event of the series of 4 events that are preparing us for the teachings on 2026 of the Diamond Way. Geshe is preparing for us. So April 17th to the 27th, we're gonna have the very first event of the series, the new beginnings of the 5 houses. Geshe is gonna be teaching from Diamond Mountain. And yes, this is the list of 4 events I'm talking about. Diamond Mountain in April, then Mexico is in July. We go to Phoenix. We haven't been, I think, like official in Phoenix since, I mean, in an event since 2015, probably. And then Kyoto, again, Japan in December. So you can attend live or online. Both are valid, but to me, probably live is more fun, but also online may be more comfortable for some of you. Okay, and what else? DSCU is having very special events upcoming very, very soon in a few days. So with us, we have today Edmond to share with us what they are planning. Is like a final graduation ceremony. Everyone is welcome, and they have another special event coming up. So if the tech table could help me spotlight Edmond. Hello, Edmond.
Yeah, hi, Juan. Yeah, hi, nice to see you
See
online.
you.
Yeah, and now, yeah, as Juan have mentioned that Goshila and many other friends are in Kyoto, and actually, where DSU is very have very good news for all people, and invite them because, as you know, we have almost finished our first cohort, which our students will be graduate on the 29th of March, and then we will have a very, very grand graduation ceremony on, yeah, you can see this poster. We will have a global live broadcast, welcome everybody to join, which will be in Kyoto time, starting at 10 a.m. Kyoto time. And in the ceremony, Goshila will give a very, very important speech. And yeah, everybody is welcome to join. And also, after our graduation ceremony, we will have another event which will be open live wisdom class. This is another event which will welcome people who are interested in registration of our next cohorts, and also some of other friends to join. This will be a one-day course, which and then during this session, Gershila, Xiaoping, Stanley will start the teaching of our next group, and then I mean the class it is the first time that Gershila teach our Stratosphere Leaders Program, and our also the first teaching of our Young Leaders Program, and also our MBA program too. But of course, these 3 programs, the official start of the 3 program will be in June this year. So if you are interested in this program, you are also welcome to register, and then you can have a taste of how the classes of these 3 programs will be delivered before you join the program. Yeah, this is the 2 big events we are going to have. So here is the QR code. This one is for the gift of wisdom course, and the previous one is for our graduation ceremony. Yeah.
Okay, so can we watch the previous the previous poster? So I'm noticing it's in Kyoto time. If you are in Asia, let's put it that way, it's gonna be on Saturday morning.
Yeah.
And if you are in United States, or I don't know, in maybe Europe, American continent, is Friday night.
Yeah.
People
So
can log in, and if people are if people are around, are they welcome to go to that live, or they have to register on Zoom?
You mean in Kyoto? Yeah, we still have some limited seats, but if you are now in Kyoto, please let us know as soon as possible, because we have already the space is we still have a few seats, but yeah.
Okay.
But everybody is welcome to join online. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, thank you very much, Edmond. Hopefully I'll see you soon, most likely, if everything goes well.
Yeah, sure.
Let's go to, I think now it's Nicolas Shaw. He's also in Japan, by the way, so he can, he already told you how it's going for him. Thank you so much, and see you soon. Good to see you, Nick, again.
I'll see you in a little bit.
All right.
After a big lunch.
Wonderful.
Hey, everybody, I'm back. Thank you for the news, Juan Hasso. Thank you, Edmund. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And thank you to all of you who so regularly come to these amazing translation classes. We're just grateful for you all. And it's just, I don't know. I'm having a deep appreciation lately for what we're doing, trying to translate these books in a way that's accessible to the modern world. And thank you for just your participation is what's making it happen. The fact that you guys love this and help us and support us is how we can keep going. So just thank you. All right. All right, quit texting me. I gotta do a class. I'm gonna share a quiz. I tried to make it easy. I always think I made it easy. This is going to be the time that I really did. So let's see how it goes. According to Master Shantarakshita, what action harms the reality body connected to countless victors?
Teaching emptiness wrongly.
Not exactly. Although we are in a section that is discussing that, but he says something that's a good bit more specific.
The reality body, meaning the emptiness body?
The Dharmakaya.
Yeah, I remember that's supposed to be untouchable, indestructible, nothing can hurt it, nothing can harm it.
I know.
Both parts of it.
What about killing one single tiny being?
Giving up on emptiness.
One single tiny being, killing one of those tiny little bags of pus
Giving up on emptiness.
Can't really benefit us in the slightest. But somebody's talking, but giving up on emptiness, yeah, that's bad. But Master Shantarakshita, so Gyaltsab says something, and Master Shantarakshita said something even more specific that is related to giving up on emptiness.
Teaching it wrong.
Yeah, it's related to teaching. It is teaching it wrong, but he specifically says harming people's belief in emptiness, which would be teaching it wrong in the suchness of things, he says. Harming the belief in the suchness. He says specifically by teaching it wrong, though. That's what he's talking about. Does anybody remember any part or the whole thing for the Tibetan of this phrase? You can work it out.
No.
Yep. But that's at the end of the sentence.
Dani.
Yeah, it's the full form.
Ekonani.
Yeah.
Mm.
Good. Yeah, good.
Shen?
Working backwards. What word is doing? What you're doing, word.
I don't know. Chuki de Konani,
Yes.
belief, Shepa, Dupa, Dupe, Nu.
Is it, it's close. I mean, it's Mapa.
Yeah, Mupa, yeah.
Mapalana. Good.
Mm.
Nice.
Good job.
Thank you.
So,
Dekona la Mapalan. Nipa Jepa.
Mm-hmm.
so Nick, what threw me with your question is that it sounded like you're asking about what actions harm the reality body of an existing, I mean, a victor that the countless victors that exist like right now, right? And
Okay.
harming the belief in the suches of things or teaching that that harms the cause of the reality body. Like, so there won't be any new ones.
You're right. You're
Right?
totally right. Yeah.
So it's
yeah.
not like the existing ones are hurt.
But
Yeah, you're totally right. No, you're right. It is the cause. And I'm about to fix it now because my action harms the causes of the that does make it correct. Totally. Thank you.
Thank you.
What is a potential problem of teaching middle way philosophy to people who are not ready?
freak out.
Yeah.
They could go to the lower realms.
Yeah.
They could become unattracted to the teachings.
Yeah. But yeah, and what he says is more related to what I think Word and Oscar said. But I was waiting to somebody would say this, but people may think that we are underestimating reality and actually negating that things are real altogether and freak out. And yes, give up on emptiness. That is what you said, Upala. That would lead into the lower realms, as Oscar said. What does this mean? Chikpa rikpa mingpe ne.
A position where you freak out due to a less than logical understanding of emptiness, something like that.
It's a good guess. It's more simple than that.
Okay. Don't freak out, man. It's just logic.
No, I like that though. That's
Oh,
a good one for Adam and Juan to tell their students today.
This is a point that it doesn't make sense to fear.
Yes, perfect. Good points that doesn't make sense to be afraid of. Nice. I struggled with it when I was working on the translation originally.
With being afraid of it.
What?
Nah.
I was afraid of that sentence. Yes.
Don't freak out, man.
Yeah. There are those who may not be afraid by teachings on emptiness, but they still have a problem. I mean, they probably have many problems, but a specific problem. So what is that they accuse the middle way of doing?
That they don't believe in karma and its results.
Yeah, good. They underestimate that we are underestimating seeds and results. So does anybody want to give me the whatever North Nepali
Corn dep.
for that? Yeah, good.
Samandang Jabu corn dep? Corn depa?
Close, yeah. Can you say that in an even more concise way?
Le Trebu.
Yeah. Lendre corn dep.
Yeah, Langela Corwindep. Nice.
Yeah.
Excellent work. That was kind of easier.
Yay.
Yeah, all right. Thank you very much. Cool. Stop share. And we got through it in 10 minutes.
Yay.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking for my document. There we go. Nope. Yeah. Okay. Oh, the best when I'm sharing it, but I don't know where it is. There we go. Just here. Okay. So we last time we got as far as we compared a quotation. Gyaltsab was quoting Master Shantarakshita, and then we went ahead and found Geshe Michael found the original quotation. We translated that and we compared the quotations. And now we're moving on to the next section, which is advice for the king to also realize the profound meaning, right? Gyalpa kyang sabmoy tentokpar tampo.
Yeah.
So here's some root text. It's the second half of a verse. Let's look at commentary and then come back to the root text. I will read this first one, and then I'll hand it over to my colleagues and friends to read on. Gyalpo shepu ne rang sheng ni kala tedak ki chine kyang mipung wa tongpa tenjun ki tontu kong chune tencha la kurpa tapna ngenchur choa tong. So let's take a look. I don't know why I wrote with this. Let's see. Well, anyway.
This is a transitioning, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just wondering if there usually I have something in the Tibetan that I'm referencing, but maybe I was just just trying to make it, sometimes I'm just trying to make it flow, I guess.
The S on the end of Shewo, maybe?
Yeah, that's probably it. Well, Gyalpo, who doesn't know what it means that can tell me what it means.
Anyone who didn't chuckle gets to answer.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, all right. What's it mean? Someone who does know what it means.
A bunch of people in the chat seem to know.
Oh, good. Okay, let me open the chat. There we go. Okay. Oh, good. We even got a king emoji. That's awesome.
That's right.
Crown. Good. All right. He's advising, and it's Kyapo Shebu. So this is interesting. What's interesting about this word? Ben?
It's the name for the region from which you can call to India.
Nice. Yeah. And the name Tibet comes from this. Somehow I guess the British or whoever, when the Tibetans say puh, they heard Tibet, obviously.
I think it was Tupu. That's what they turned it to.
We're going to puh. Where are you guys going? We're going to puh.
Tupu, like the upper place called Puh.
Oh, Tupu. I got it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Tupu or not Tupu?
That is not the question.
No, it's not. It really isn't.
All right. So I translated Gyalpo Shepa Ne, the one to whom we give the title king. Because they're saying Gyalpo Shepa, and he repeats this a couple times. Rangshe Nika.
Both myself, others.
What did you say, word?
Both myself and others.
Yeah, good. Both. And what's interesting about this ni here?
That ni is a form of the word to, which usually has an S on it. But this is
Yeah.
an archaic form, which you can take away the S and put a GA instead of the more modern form where you keep the S and put a KA to mean both.
Nice. Thank you for that wonderful elucidation. Yeah, usually we don't see it like this. Nika, both.
Yep.
Okay. So let's see. And maybe I need to do some work here still with you all. And we'll have to probably look at the root text a little bit. Tedaki chine kyang mipung wa. So it looks to me like chine kyang is this idiom that means do everything you can, or do everything in his power is what I said here.
To mipung,
To mipung.
not
Well,
discard.
well, it's actually in order to not mipung, but
Mhm.
yeah, not be
Yeah.
ruined, not destroy. Tong paten chung ki dun du kong du chu. I think it's the idea is
Yeah.
to do everything that you can to tongpa ten chung ki dun du kong du chu.
Not throw away your kong de chu, your deep understanding dun of the meaning gi of emptiness tongpa and tenjun dependent origination.
Yeah, totally. But that's interesting that you took it that way.
Mm.
You're taking it as to not ruin your understanding of emptiness and dependence.
Yeah.
And I took it as to do everything you can to understand emptiness and dependence. And there's no particles here, so maybe it's a little bit ambiguous, maybe not.
Mm.
But I'm taking it as do everything you can to understand those things so that you won't be ruined.
So you don't ruin yourself. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think I'm basing that on the way the root text is structured.
I think you're right, because the mipung would be at the end of that phrase otherwise, I think.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
It could also be that the meaning of the word emptiness is that all things depend on other things.
I know. That's
them
really
to
good.
Understand deep in their hearts that emptiness means all things depend on other things.
Totally. I know. I was thinking about that too, and especially because it's Nagarjuna and he likes to say stuff like that.
Yeah.
Although I mean it's Gyaltsab J in this case. So what I've done so far is I just wrote it super ambiguously and wrote emptiness, dependence.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. I left out the meaning of.
Yeah, I think she must be right, especially because of the nay at the end of that phrase, showing this progression that
Yeah.
that's what's going to keep you from this mistaken
Yeah.
understanding.
And then it links
I
kind of
like it.
well with the next phrase, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
I like that.
Tapna.
If one were to, so what's it mean? Tendra la kurpatapna.
If we discount dependence,
Yeah. Then what happens?
we're going way south,
Yeah, that's a
or
really
far
scary
down,
idea.
very
We're
low rebirth.
going to a bad place. We go to a bad
Like
place.
Go
Texas.
to bad go.
Yeah, bad going. You're going bad going. All right.
Isn't the nay like then though?
From here?
Yeah.
Chune. Yeah, that's kind of an interesting one, right?
That's how they set up progression. They'll put nay, then a shay. Like if you do
Yeah.
then this, then this.
Yeah. However, how in this case, I agree with you, and I was even considering that in writing the translation. However, I don't, and we'd have to think about it for a minute because it's saying one thing and then it's immediately giving an if statement of the opposite rather than a progressive statement. You know what I mean?
Then if like then from there, then if you do this, blank will then you will do this. I know
In
what
that
you're
case,
saying.
It's more of a whereas, right? It's more of a disjunctive.
Could be. Ne is the disjunctive. I don't know. It's kind of rare, but maybe.
But it's the only, yeah. That's the one thing about the fluidity of the North Himalayan language here.
Doesn't that nay also act as turning the verb into a gerund?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kongruchune.
Awesome.
Understanding.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
In this particular case, I don't see any reason that any other way of writing it would be better, but I'm open. I don't see it yet. I'm not convinced. Than just making it a period, because the progression is there. And something that I've been kind of playing with lately, and that I feel like is important for us all to understand, and something I observe in the way that Geshe Michael translates, is like, as long as you really nail the meaning, I mean, if you're really getting the meaning, it's not necessarily the case that you're like messing up the translation somehow if you don't like put the particle that's there and thereby make the English clunkier than it would be.
Totally.
Yeah, which is, I mean, I know we've discussed this over the last 8 years, but
Right. And then our tricky part is trying to understand precisely what it is that the Tibetan language is saying.
right. Yeah. This is obviously the important part.
And,
I think we got the meaning here, but
and the if could come earlier. If you were to do that, then this would happen.
yeah. But this is so everything's wrong.
Well, with the tongue, right? We can get some clarity potentially. We're not exactly at the end of the thought.
No, right. That's also true.
So the nay still has time to interact with whatever verb is coming.
Yeah. Let's go. Well, let's see who would like to read for us today. Duodos, as you've done so wonderfully so far.
Okay, yes, sir. I'll take the jump. This is way harder than the last one, I think.
Good. We have to make sure you slip up here and there.
Okay. Denjarang lukla kelen gupa niki rang shinki dube tongpa kelang gupa dang rang shinki duba la gyuje chungse gyang shaks sa mepar kongdu chune denpa ni mangzam tatsam de kongdu chuba tedar ki shikje damso.
Amazing. Beautiful. Do you want to work through the translation together, Todro?
Yes, I would like to try.
All right, let's do it. Tentrel Rang Luk La Kelen Gupa.
Tenjo Ranglug is our spiritual tradition of interdependence or dependence.
Yeah.
Killing Gupa means it's necessary to accept.
Yeah. He must accept, or you must accept dependence as it is presented in our system. Exactly. Ni. Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
And therefore, and thereby.
Therefore,
Rangshinki Jupe Tong Pakailan Gupa.
And thus you have to accept that things are devoid of existing by any self-nature.
Right on. Yes, awesome. Let's see. Tongue.
Add just a slight subtlety.
Okay, yes.
He changed it from K-Len to K-Lang, I think. He said,
I think it just means if you accept that, then you'd accept that.
Yeah, no, once you accept.
Yeah.
Once you accept the first one, you have accepted the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
That's cool.
Yeah. Whatever. But yeah, great. Must have accepted. Yeah, maybe, and I don't, it's a good point, and I wonder, because I said thereby, and I felt like I captured that feeling, but you could, if you really wanted to get, technical, and this is just something I'm working on balancing in my own translation progression.
Yeah, I think he's saying it's automatic. That's all.
Yeah,
That's what I mean.
yeah, and then I'm not going to put must have accepted. I wanted to try it for a second, but I don't like it. But and maybe there is a way to
Okay.
emphasize that. I love it. I love it.
让心体
Oh, yeah.
jumpa gyute chungse kyangshak. This
So
is a long one.
Rangshin Kichupala. Yeah, so let's go piece by piece. Rangshin Kichupala Gindre. Gindre.
So it's concerning the self-existence. This slightest there is no slightest there's not a sliver of cause and effect.
Well, yeah,
or
good. Let's
result.
go little by little. Gindre. Rangshin Kichupala Gindre. The cause and effect doesn't.
Cause and effect in that of that self-existence.
I think it's that self-existence doesn't exist through. I'm sorry, that cause and effect doesn't exist through its own nature.
But then okay.
Weird.
But this,
Even
you didn't
slightly.
include the MEPA, so I just.
Oh yeah. We didn't get there yet, but yeah, right. This would just be the self-existence of cause and effect, right?
Yeah.
And Chungse Kyang, there's not even a
yeah.
shock.
Shak can establish or
Yeah. Yeah. So I think I kind of took this whole thing, Shak Sa Me Par Kong Du Chu, as basically saying it wouldn't even be possible for him to imagine Chungse Kyang even slightly.
Even slightly. But what is the Sa doing here? Like,
I think Shak Sa Mepa is just like you can't posit, or Shak, the whole thing together to me seems to be saying like you don't even like imagine in your mind, like it's not even possible to imagine or to conceive something like that. It doesn't have the word
never
possible.
establish. Yeah.
Yeah, you can never establish in your mind. It's impossible to establish in your mind, even slightly. And remember what's happening here is this is Master Nagarjuna advising the king on how to think. So he's saying, look, I'm begging you, buddy, don't even imagine just even for a second, or that cause and effect are even slightly coming from their own side or existing.
It's something I don't like that law for self-existence of cause and effect. I want it to mean that cause and effect can't exist in what is self-existent, in the sense that he's saying if things are self-existent, then Gyundre, cause and effect can't be possible. That
Interesting.
I like that too. Because the wrong Shingi drip comes first.
Yeah, Rang Shingi Juba.
I just took it as being an adverb, like self-existently. But that's interesting.
Yeah, self-existently what though? What's the verb?
It's the La and Mepa, right? It's the La and Mepa. So I like what Ben is saying. It means
that's interesting.
It's not there's not even a trace of it. It wouldn't be possible in self-existence.
In the realm of self-existence, the cause and effect cannot function at all, something like that.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, what you can't establish is cause and effect.
Yeah, I'm going to put a little parenthesis here.
Which would, of course, be a more powerful way to defend against people who would say that we are undermining cause and effect.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Totally. Okay, so here we go. Great. I like it. I agree. It is more powerful.
Okay. Dembani, the two truths, Mongzong Datsam, a lot or a little?
No, Geshe Michael glossed it down here, thankfully. And we did have it before in this text. See, we've had this before. Knowing something so well you could understand it with only a gesture and no words. So this is when Geshe Michael was like, I mean, this he does this all the time. He goes like this, right? Or
Yeah.
so he does gestures, and then you know what he's talking about. So it's just like that.
Doesn't require much to convey the meaning. Literally, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's an idiom. Mangzang datam to kongdu chupa. So like understand it to such an extent that all you need is a little gesture. And so he's saying, it seems to me like he's saying, because then it says detar gi, like by that. So, and in that way, develop such an implicit understanding of the two realities. So I took it as like the Kondu Chupa together with the Mangsa Datsam is kind of like a tacit or an implicit understanding that even a small gesture is enough to remind him. Or he's just advising the king, like, Detargi in that way, like that, understand the two realities so that somebody could just go like this or like this, and then you understand what he's talking about.
So Nick, implicit, that's a little risky, right? Because it has the connotation of being inherent.
Oh, interesting. Do you
So
like
I would
tacit understand?
try and find some tacit is a little better.
It's light though. Like tacit doesn't feel like strong enough to me.
For which word?
Implicit, like an implicit.
No,
I just meant like it. I just meant like deep in his mind. But tacit's pretty good.
Intimate.
Intimate, yeah, like intimate. They're really integrated. That's cool.
I like tacit.
Yeah, I just took Anne home.
I'm gonna go with tacit for now. I like because tacit understanding is a word that I've never written before. I don't want to live my whole life not writing.
Yeah, really. At least
45.
once.
I don't know how much longer I have. Yeah.
No.
All right, cool. Thank you, Dodo. That was amazing.
Thank you. This is hard.
Right, try to
May I
tone it
ask
down a
one
little
question?
Yeah.
Kongdu chupa, this chu, does it mean like insert or something? I mean,
I think it does, but Kongdu Chupa together is an idiom that just means understand deeply.
oh, okay. What does the kong here mean? It seems like it refers to, I don't know, kong. Kong means
I don't think I've
her,
ever
right?
seen Kong by itself.
In colloquial it means him or her, right?
Yeah.
Ko, yeah. But it's Kongdu Chupa is just a phrase. It's like it's like its own word.
Okay. Thank you.
It's
No.
not
No. Kong and Kong Chupa means the container, like your heart. It means your heart or your chest. That's what it literally means, deep in your chest. That's why sometimes it's Tuksu Chupa when it's honorific. Yeah, it means
so chest means Kong means chest here, you're saying?
Chest or heart.
Deep within.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
So
never
put
heard
in
that.
your heart, if you understand it this way, if you realize it's this way, makes sense.
But
if you put this in your heart.
Yeah.
Like if you understand it deep in your
understand. Yeah, understand deep in your heart. And I think I used to write deep in your heart all the time, like understand deep in your heart all the time. And Geshe Michael was like, you don't have to always write that. It's like, it just means like understand. I was like, okay.
This is your chance to use grok.
Yeah,
Ah,
nobody can stop me.
Mm-mm.
No, but I used tacit understanding.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
That's good.
I really
I'll
wanted to
always
do that.
remember you as a man of many words.
Thank you.
okay, thank you, Dr. Nick. That was fun.
Oh, thank you.
And
And I was going to say, just
excruciating.
tone it down, not to make us look so bad. Just kidding.
No,
No, Dodo, it's nice to see you here.
thank you.
Let's see now. Advice for the king to get on the train, to train. I don't know if it's training. We'll see. I took a Hello Kitty train while I was here. It was really exciting. I sent pictures to Amelie and she loved it. Oh wait, let's look at the root text. There.
Oh yeah.
So this is the second half of a verse. Kyaupa pungwa teda ki, chine mi pung tetar ki. Kinda. So this is tough because Gyalpo Pungwa Dedak. So there's these guys who are ruined, I guess. Oh, King, Gyalpo. He starts a lot of verses with Gyalpo. So it's pretty clear that he is repeating this kind of nominative Gyalpo. He's talking to the king. Oh, King. Pungwa, ruined. Dedak, these guys. Buy them. I don't know. It's poetry. Chine mi pung te targi. I took the Chine since Gyaltsab J glossed it here. Chine kyang. Do everything in your power. Do everything you can. Te targi, to practice thus. Mi pung, so you will not be ruined. Added some stuff here a little bit to make it make sense. And I think I might have left something out here. Gaitak Ki, right?
Yeah.
It's like those guys who are ruined.
Wouldn't it be those guys who aren't ruined because it's Deitaki Chine Mipung?
I don't know. I'm having a hard time with the construction here. Maybe?
Verb should come after, so the king is ruined and those guys aren't ruined.
Well, here, Gyalpo Shebu I think he's just saying king, I think
He
the
doesn't.
Gyalpo Shebu is just relating to this Chedam down here.
Is there any more poems? Because there's only one poem here.
No, isn't that
I
weird?
mean the Punghwa Daeducts are the ruined.
Yeah, the ruined. Yeah,
Yep,
exactly.
but
Yeah.
it's
That's very much
problematic.
what it seems like.
But it says mi pung wa, and the root text says pung wa in the first line, and says mi pung in the second line, and there's only
I
one,
know.
so it's a little difficult there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
confusing.
like that, don't ruin yourself.
Yeah, I think he's saying there are those who are ruined. But then it's interesting to me that there's an instrumental here too. He's like, are you saying that they could ruin you? And that's why he has to do everything in his power to not be ruined?
No, they're ruining themselves. It's just instrumental. They're the
Yeah. Yeah, right. They're ruining themselves. I agree with that.
Maybe the pung wa means, oh, king, let's talk about ruination. There are those who don't ruin.
I know that's how I thought of it at first, but then
Okay.
I think that because they're Pungwas, I guess Punghwa could be ruin in general,
What
but
was the
that's
root
but it's
text
also
immediately prior?
it's Day Talk. It doesn't help.
Oh, good.
Yeah, but we can look at it. It helpfully doesn't help. Oh, look, I didn't translate it, but
Well, it
it's
sure doesn't.
Jigmin ne Jigtedagni.
Don't be afraid of these points.
Uh-huh. Punghwa, they bring yourself and others
Oh yeah.
to
Okay,
ruin.
yeah.
brings about ruination. And then it's like king, those ruined ones, or it could be ruination. But I guess the Daedok too throws me into thinking that he's talking about people who are ruined. It seems like a warning. Let's continue with the commentary and see if we have any more feelings.
Is it maybe that the king shouldn't ruin people?
Well, maybe, but it says Pungwa Daedok. Like it seems like it's talking about people who are ruined.
I think one was the end of the sentence. I was like, "Oh, king, there could be ruination."
It could be. It could be that. I mean, we got the basic idea.
We do.
Yeah.
Do whatever you can to not ruin them like that.
Yeah. What are you
I have an
doing?
idea.
Yes.
King, don't ruin yourself because of those who are ruined. If you
Yeah, I
don't
think.
want to ruin yourself, right?
Yeah.
If you don't want to ruin yourself
Great.
by like yeah, how do we put it? If you don't want
Yeah,
to
like
ruin
with
yourself
them.
by those with those who have already been ruined, please do according to this.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
That's great.
And then in the commentary, it does say Rangshen Nika La Tedakni. So it's to self and others. So somehow it's like, don't let these guys, these ruined guys hurt yourself and others.
That's great. Don't be ruined by the ruined.
Oh, and here's where I put it. I said, yeah, and they will not ruin him and others.
That's great.
Because all we have is a Tedaki in the commentary, so that they will
Yeah.
not ruin him and others.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
So
you're
yeah,
exactly right, Duoduo.
I think we're on the right track. Okay. I'm checking the time. Okay.
It won't save you.
No, I'm really enjoying this actually.
Me too.
We are working on a text together. We are doing it. We're making progress. You have afforded me understandings that I didn't have prior. This is the mixed nuts cog turning. Slowly, but turning. Advice for the king to train. Because this is from way above. This is something I'm scared of. The level of organization and understanding that we are going to have to learn to do when we're translating these books, especially an author like Gyaltsab, is intense. Like Geshe Michael must have outlined the entire book in order to realize that this is the second part from like way earlier. Outlined it and also context,
Yeah, I
But
think for like a mere mortal like me, I have to have a separate document that is, like outlining as I go,
definitely.
and when
Yeah.
I think that
first
makes
and
sense.
second is used in part and whatnot.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
try so and it's possible, and you can keep track, and I do it too with Gyaltsab. I keep track of like within an outline of like, okay, this is the first part, this is the second part, and about 85% of the time, the author will stick to that outline that they have set forth, and 15% of the time, you still have to figure it out why something's off, and they're not necessarily sticking to it perfectly.
Right.
All right, let's try.
Mhm.
Let's see who wants to read. We don't have a live audience, so I have to it's hard for me to see who's here while I'm here. Ben, can you read, please?
Oh, sure.
Thank you.
Nipa kialpe kyang sabmoy dun la lapar kang dam ba la. Oh, just dam ba la
Dampa.
ni. 감 그바탕 닥메니 셰바오. 당분이.
Okay, let's see what's going on here. Niba, the second part from above. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Gyalpa Kyang Sabmoy Dunla Lapa. What do you think, Ben?
The training on the profound meaning. Well, even if you do
Yeah,
train in the profound meaning.
I think it's
Or no.
also in this case.
Okay.
Because
well, there are two here. Yeah.
Well, from the Gelpo earlier, also,
well,
Can we-
because he's advising him on something before, and now he's saying
yeah,
also
that's what I
training.
mean. I mean, the last section, yeah.
Yeah, in the meaning of the profound.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I see. Yeah. And you're saying this also has two parts. Yeah. Kapkapadang dakme ni shepao.
So advice on that. So there will be two parts to the advice on how to train on the profound meaning or the profound object, meaning of the profound, perhaps.
Kapkapa.
Yes. Yeah, like when, I guess, when you should do it.
I think it's
Maybe.
just because it's a phrase that he uses sometimes. I think it just means like giving the context or setting the scene type of thing.
A presentation on this context or in this context, right?
Yeah. Setting the context.
Okay. And then explaining the two types of lack of self-nature.
Yeah. And for some reason, Geshe Michael probably not on purpose left the dong pony here. So I just wrote here as the first.
Okay.
Okay. Root text. Skip that for the moment. Word. Would you like to? I'm just going to call on mixed nuts because I can't see everybody. Would you like to go ahead and read, please?
Yeah. Gelpo shebu ne kila jikten de sul luk tani la mitenpe yang dakpa ne dun ki dode le sungpa chitawa shindu rikpa dang lungi wangi shepar chao.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I think there's some heavy reliance on the root text here. So I mean he's explaining it pretty closely. So I know word, we just had this. Gyalpo shewu ne. Oh, we lost him. Tim, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, hey.
Okay.
What does it mean, Tim? Gyalpo shewu.
Oh, Galpo ship. It has. He's speaking to the king,
Yeah,
right?
the one
And I can't remember exactly what, because I got the answer wrong in class, and I got nervous, and so I wasn't able to. I didn't go into my brain about actually what put meant, but it's related to the name for Tibet. But that's about as far as I can remember.
Yeah. Nice. He's saying the one because it means call.
Oh, call. Oh, the one we call. Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you.
The one we call king. And what's Kila? Anybody?
You?
Yeah.
Mr. King?
To you. Yeah, I shall explain. And then there's a shape bar ja. There's a shape bar ja at the end, so I just put it up here. I shall explain to you. Jikden de kitsu. Anybody?
This method which takes us beyond the world.
Yeah. Which takes us or which is
this transcendent methodology.
Yeah. Tani la mitemba.
It doesn't lean on extremes, doesn't fall into the two extremes, I guess.
Yeah. It doesn't. I like lean on. It's not based on those extreme ways of thinking. Yang Dakpa Ngaden. I think it's glossing Yang Dakpa here.
Yes. Right. The correct meaning, the definitive meaning of
Yeah, and I'm wondering if it's even might be literal meaning here.
Literal. Yeah.
yeah,
The correct or literal meaning.
Yeah.
For
sure. Correct
Yeah.
meaning literal. Yeah. Sorry, there's correct as in literal meaning, yeah. Correct meaning literal.
Dodele Sungpa Jitawa Shindu.
Yeah. Well, I guess just as it is in
Yeah.
the scriptural collection.
Yeah, I think so. Just as it was spoken in the scriptural collection or collection of sutras, I put Rikpa Dang Lung. We already had this today, I think.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, logic and scriptural examples are authority.
And this is the point where Geshe Michael might tell the story that he had a friend named Jampa Lungrik. Wangi Sheparja, let's just say.
Yeah, I mean, you should explain it by that.
Yeah, I put using, which I hope
Sure.
sounds okay. Using reasoning in scripture.
Yeah.
So I said, I shall explain to you the one who we call king using reasoning in scripture in just the way it was spoken in the collection of sutras, that the correct or literal meaning of this system, which is the way that is beyond the world, is to not rely upon the two extreme views.
I think Edungi Tote means the scriptures that speaks literally. Because it's talking about emptiness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, anyway, okay.
Yeah, it's tricky a little bit for Duodo because if Ngedun is an explanation of Yang Dakpa, you wouldn't go as far as to say the correct scriptures, the correct sutras. You couldn't call some of them incorrect.
Yeah.
I guess I would want to stare at the root text a little bit more for clarity about that.
I think
your instinct is good.
Yang Dakpa is glossing Edun, right? Maybe. I don't know.
Vice versa. Yang Dakpa is in the root text. So our feeling is
come
that
later, please.
is
Sorry.
explaining that. Come later, please. I'm sorry, I'll wait till later.
I'll just tell them I don't need it. No need.
So you're saying Yang Dakpa is the root text. So
yeah, I think that I'm pretty sure that the Nadan is glossing Yang Dakpa. I'm pretty sure, and also because when it says Dode Le Sung and it's using this verb Sungpa, which is an honorific way to say spoken, I think we can assume he's talking about the words of the Buddha. So there wouldn't be, probably he's not distinguishing like correct scriptures versus incorrect scriptures, since we would consider them all to be correct.
We're almost at the point where we could peek at the root text to see.
Yeah, we'll look at let's look at this next sentence and then we'll look at the root text.
Yes, yeah.
I'll read this one. Chidundu Shena. Gapa Kyuni Mipung Par Kiwe Leduo. Chidundu Shena, anybody?
Why?
You wonder what
why-
the heck we're talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
Shena?
If you're wondering why we're talking about this, what's the point of all this? It's so that Gyapa Kya, you king, Mi Pungwar Gi Wei Le.
Yeah, so you shouldn't mess yourself up.
Yeah. So you don't degenerate.
Do ruinous deeds.
Yeah. You don't fall apart. Or you do fall apart, but
Mhm.
only in a way that's going to help everybody.
Okay, now let's see what happened with this.
All right. Gyapa Kuni Mi Pungwar. So yeah. So that you,
Mhm.
king, will not be ruined.
Mhm.
We just covered that. Kiele, Kile. So I think that still continues there.
Mhm.
Chikten de Kitsu. So that's
Yeah,
the way around the world.
right, that might be
Here I said there's a she, so I just, that's where I put the verb. I shall explain the way beyond the world. Nila miten.
Oh, it doesn't depend on those two is correct. And what doesn't, yeah.
It's correct. Just as the Jishin Lungi Wangi. Yeah. Yang Dakpa Jishin Lung. Correct. Just like our scriptures.
Mhm.
I'm going to explain using that stuff. I got to throw using into this root text.
You have it.
The
The scriptures we use.
Oh, yes, I did. Thank you. I threw that in at the last minute. So I had to get that in there. All right, cool. I don't know if that clears up that ambiguity, Duo.
Yeah, it does seem to support his position, I think. Because it's just like the well, yeah. To be correct is to not lean on the two extremes just as they are in a way that's consistent, Jitawa Shindu, with the Dode, the scriptural collection written that is
which is
literal.
literal.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're saying Nila Mitin equals Yang Dakpa, or maybe Yang Dakpa can
Yes.
also refer to Yang Dakpe Tawa. So that will make more sense, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Dakpa is right.
It's definitely
Right.
Young Dr.
Right. Yeah,
it's correct in the sense
an appositive.
Yeah. Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah, I agree with that too. And I tried to write the sentence that way, but I think I just gave up and wrote it this way. But I think you're right that it's correct, meaning not relying upon the two extreme views.
Yes. Right. Yeah. Right.
And that does call for me to restructure the sentence, I think, a little bit, because what I did is I said it's kind of, I mean, I don't know if it's less correct to write it this way. I'd have to sit and think about it. But I made it kind of like the point of the sentence is that, what's correct is to not rely on those two extreme views. But I think it's more accurate or more, what do you call it? Like it's more of what the verse is trying to express is to say that correct, comma, not replying on the two extreme, like almost appositives.
Yes, yeah, that's in a positive. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And he's added the genitive, right?
Yes, he has. Yeah.
The apostrophe I was what he added.
Correct in the sense of not relying on the two.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Correct in the sense of not relying on the two. Yeah, so I guess Yeah, and there's no reason to put this is here is kind of what it comes down to. And I think that that's true. It's just about that he's going to explain these things, and then he just kind of says what he's going to explain. There doesn't need to be like, I'm going to explain that this is this. It's not actually happening in the Tibetan. So I'll structure it without that is, I think is what I can do.
Yeah. Right. I guess what Duozo pointed out that I think is very helpful, right? Just the way it was spoken in the collection of sutras, which are literal.
Oh. Just as it was spoken in the collection of sutras, which are literal.
Yeah, I would put literal meaning over there. As per his urging, and I'm provisionally convinced myself. Doesn't that sound confident?
No need for learning together for the is collection of sutras which are literal.
I suspect that's correct.
All right. I'll certainly go and sit with this some more. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. We're 1 minute over time.
Oh.
I'm going to stop sharing. This is fun. This is the mixed nuts in action. We're doing it. Just from it reminds me of there's this movie Anchorman that I used to like. It probably came out like 20 years ago now or something, but there's a point where they're laughing really hard. And then Will Ferrell starts narrating. He's like, "We are laughing." And he starts narrating what they're doing. It's like it's a spontaneous experience of joy. So sometimes I think it's important to narrate what's going on. We are translating together. And I'm grateful. I'm really grateful to have the people like you all who are interested in it. So thank you for coming and working together on these things, because it is kind of hard and it's fun to make progress on these texts. Super fun and really amazing and useful. So thank you. And thank you for the news, Juan. And I'll try to tune into Juan's class later if you can. It's going to be in like 3.5 hours. So if you can, tune into the emptiness of colors. If you don't have a QR code, there's one in your inbox, because that came in the newsletter that came a couple days ago, the Mixed Nuts newsletter. And I'll see y'all soon. All right. Ciao, ciao, ciao.